What are you doing here? What's up everyone? My name's Mathew Pritchard and I'm going to show you some of my prized possessions. Now, we're in my kitchen at the moment because the rest of my house is getting refurbed. So the living room sort of looks like a hole and upstairs is just a write-off. So I think we're going to do everything in the kitchen. Luckily for me, half of my prized possessions are in my kitchen. So by the door, I've got all my outdoorsy stuff. So I've got, obviously, my skateboard. Now for anyone that knows me, I've been skateboarding since I was 15. It's something which means a lot to me because it made me the person that I am today. Everything that I've got today, I thank skateboarding for it. This board is currently a 40s board. I went through quite a long stage of not skateboarding because through the Sanchez years and all that kind of stuff sort of took me somewhere else and sort of enjoyed the party scene a little bit too much. But recently I've started skating again and I went on a 40s skateboard trip to Dubai last year. Unfortunately, 2 days in when I started feeling absolutely good, I thought, yeah, I've got this back. 25-year-old brain, 45-year-old body, doesn't really work, and I ended up fracturing my back. So I haven't seen this for just over 3 months now, so there's 6 months for me to heal and I'll be back on it. Walking boots. I never thought I'd ever own a pair of walking boots. I started climbing Pen y Fan many years ago. Used to get up early in the morning to go and see the sunrises. I'd go there in the evening to see sunsets. And I thought I'd better invest in some decent boots because I was just going up in trainers, so slipping all over the place. So these I wear all the time. So yeah, they play a big part in my life and they keep my feet dry as well. Ever since I've worn them, I've never come back with wet feet. Welcome to my uncarpeted stairs. They'll be carpeted soon. Hey Lemmy, Rockies? What do you reckon? He's unsure. Running shoes. I love running. When I was 15, I ran the Cardiff Half Marathon because my mother said that if you run the Cardiff Half Marathon, me and my brother, she said, I will buy you a pair of high-tech silver shadows. Now, high-tech silver shadows when I was 15 were the daddy of trainers. So we trained, did the Cardiff Half, finished it, and I got myself a pair of high-tech silver shadows. I went to school and I thought I was the daddy. After Sanchez finished, after partying had finished, I sort of wanted to focus on fitness. So I said, I wonder if I can do the Cardiff Half again. So I went and got myself some trainers, started training, did the Cardiff Half, and ever since I haven't looked back. It's simple. You stick a pair of trainers on, you walk out the door, and you come back a different person. Running means a big thing for me, and it's great for my mental health. And yeah, I think I've done quite a few miles in these. The last run I did was 262 miles. And that was after a 1,120 mile bike ride and a 24 mile swim. So yeah, prized possession, running shoes, very, very important. There he is, look. The king. When I was 15, I absolutely loved Queen. I got a lot of stick for it back then because obviously Freddie Mercury was gay. Oh, you like a gay band, blah, blah, blah. But I just really enjoyed Queen's music and so much so I joined the fan club when I was 15. I used to get stuff in the post and stuff and nothing's really changed really. I'm 47 and they're just the best band ever. I was going to go and see, I had tickets to go and see Queen with my auntie when I was younger. And I was dead excited. It was in Wembley. I think it was 1986 or something like that. But unfortunately, she got ill, so we couldn't go. In Birmingham, I went to see them with Adam Lambert, and it was absolutely unbelievable. I was in my element. Every time I get or I go partying or something, and I come back to my house, guaranteed I put a Live Aid on YouTube, and when Freddie just hits the ivories and starts playing Bohemian Rhapsody, I just get every single time I just get goosebumps. It's mental. And actually, I'll tell you a story. Rufus, Roger Taylor's son Rufus was a big Sanchez fan. We got invited to his birthday party in Roger Taylor's house. I was just like, I was tripping. So we went there. I mean, he had this big party and Roger Taylor was over there, but I was so starstruck, I couldn't even ask him for a photo. So I just sort of seen him from a distance. But what a time, man. Just to be invited to Roger Taylor's house and have a party with his son and everyone else. And yeah, it was a good laugh. And got absolutely wrecked. Top laugh. So yeah, Queen. Going back to the skate theme again. When I started skateboarding, I never ever thought that I'd have my own pro model. I went to skate comp in Radland Skate Park and entered, like I won. And I remember Alvin Singfield, who worked for Phase 7 at the time, a distribution company. And he sent Alan Rushbrook down to come and have a word with me. He said, see that guy up there? He wants to sponsor you. And I just thought, what? No way, that's mental. And at the same time then, Cal Shipman then came up to me and said, see that guy over there, Jeremy Fox? He wants to sponsor you for Deathbox. So I had these two offers, and of course at the time I was really young. I was just there, I couldn't sleep. I was just laying in my room going, I've got two offers for sponsorship, and I didn't want to be bad and tell the other one, I'm sorry, I don't want to go with you, I want to go with him. I just chose Alvin, and it was every month it was like Christmas. And you know, at that age, when skateboarding cost so much, to have it all for free was just, I just felt so lucky. After a few, I think it was after about a year of being on Phase 7, Alvin then gave me a ring then and said, we're going to start a new British skateboard company called Panic. He said, we want you to be the first pro. I was like, what? I just proper tripped out. I was like, Christ, yeah, we're going to give you a pro board. What kind of stuff do you want on it? So, of course, I knew Pete Fowler, who did the Super 30 Animals artwork and stuff. And Pete Fowler, I knew him because, you know, his brother Chris as well. They're from Cardiff. And he's a great artist. And I asked him if he'd do my pro board. So this is the first pro board. This is actually the first one. 95, look. Started up 98, 95. And basically, it's a Cardiff chav. And you just say Matt Pritchard tidy. Obviously, tidy being a famous Welsh word. That is definitely one of my biggest prized possessions. I'm going down memory lane, yeah? To have a pro board, I was stoked. Unbelievably stoked. I just couldn't believe it. I was living my dream. I was skateboarding and I didn't have to go to work. Further down the line, as I got older, I thought, yeah, my body, I'm killing my body here, man, because I love jumping downstairs and all that kind of stuff. And I was proper myself up. I can't do this for the rest of my life. I'm going to have to start sort of looking into my future. So I got a job with double overhead distribution in Porthcawl with Brad Hockridge, and he was in City Surf one day, my local skate shop, and he said, I'm about to distribute Globe shoes for the UK. He said, do you want a job? Do you want to be team manager? And I was like, oh man, this is it. I can get a job. I can work in the industry, something I know a lot about. Obviously, I knew a load of skateboarders. I said, yeah, brilliant, let's do it. So catch a bus to Porthcawl, which took 2 hours to get there, 2 hours to get home. So it was 4 hours a day I was travelling to get back and forth to work. And then he gave me a scooter. And the scooter, it just got 30 miles an hour down the A48. But the thing is, if it started raining, the thing had cut out. And I'd be stranded. So every day I'd be going, but if I see a cloud in the distance, I'm like, run, quick, get to work. So anyway, I built a Globe team up, a British Globe squad. It was a great job, I loved it. And Brad was really lenient as well, because, you know, me being me, I enjoyed a few beers sometimes. I come into work late. And then the whole Sanchez thing sort of started taking off. Globe then said, oh, we'd like to give you a pro shoe. I was like, what? At the time, sleeping your dead was sort of the thing in my head, because I was partying all the time, constantly. I wasn't sleeping. And I never forget when we were filming Dirty Sanchez, I came straight from the house party, straight in the van to go filming. And Dan Joyce said, oh man, you need to go to sleep. I said, Dan, I'll sleep when I'm dead. And everyone started laughing, and it stuck. So we came up with a shoe, and that was the shoe. But you can tell how old it is, because that used to be white, so it's gone orange. And we sort of gave it that sleep when you're dead theme, the kind of stuff I was into. Like at the time I was shagging like Hugh Hefner. I was gambling, I was drinking, I was just loving life basically. And so we put the sleep when you're dead on the back, gambling, the cars, the dice, women with their knockers out, the booze. That was my signature shoe, and I never thought it would really go anywhere. And then we went to a Globe meeting, and we were going through shoe sales, and then my shoe come up, and it said, It was the best-selling shoe in Europe and Australia. And I was just like, what? Like, of course, I had royalties on these as well. Yeah, it was mad, man. I had my first royalty check, and I was just like, I was just spinning out. So me being me, I just thought. I walked past a jewellery shop. I saw this Breitling watch. I think it was about $4,000 or whatever it was. Just tried to get them, having it. So I bought myself a nice watch with my royalty check. But for me, I thought I'd never ever own something like that. I never thought I'd ever see that kind of money. So with Sanchez as well and the royalty checks, I was just like, yeah, it was a good time to be alive. What with the skateboard and the shoe, two things I never thought I'd have in life, but very grateful that I got them. As you can see, I'm in my kitchen. This kitchen is a brand new kitchen. I spend a lot of time in the kitchen. When I left school, I went and studied catering because I wanted to become a chef. So I was in college for 2 years. And obviously my life took a bit of a turn. My cooking lifestyle sort of went out the window a bit, and then I turned vegan and found my love for cooking again. I thought, brilliant. I needed to find another way of replacing meat. So I started looking online and for recipe ideas, and yeah, I got into cooking big time. I love prepping vegetables. I don't know what it is. I just love it. I could sit there and just cut veg all day. So I'm known for my big chopper. As soon as I went vegan, we did a show on YouTube called Pritchard's Proper Vegan Cooking Show, and I used this knife, and everyone was like, man, what the fuck do you need that knife for? It's huge. So that was one of the knives, and then recently I bought a new knife, and I just really like this knife. This is my new work tool, a kitchen knife. So when I go running, sometimes I like going running and just listening to my breath and listening to listening to everything that's going on around me. But sometimes music is just the best. When you're not feeling like running and the music kicks in, some proper hard house or something like that, or heavy metal, I switch off. When I did the Decker, which I'll talk about later, so, 262 miles running is a long way, and my body was absolutely screwed. And I just woke up at 2 o'clock in the morning to try and get some more mileage done. And I stuck these on, and I just didn't want to run, but I had to because I had to try and make up my miles. So I stick these on. I put Motorhead on live at Wacken, and they were the best paracetamol painkiller I've ever had, because I just got lost in music, couldn't feel anything in my body, couldn't feel any pain. And I went like the Clappers, and they were doing 1 mile loops. And then I sort of woke up out of my trance from listening to this, and I realised I'd done half a marathon. I was like, yeah, man, I'm stoked, but I was because as soon as I snapped out of it, all of a sudden I felt the pain. So these are almost like my painkiller, and there's nothing like getting lost in music when you're running. Come with me to my living room. This is my living room. It's currently being renovated, so please ignore the mess. Last year, 2019, I entered a race called the Continuous Decker, which is there's two formats. There's an Ironman a day for 10 days, or there's the continuous. You just keep going. So it was a 24-mile swim, which was 1,550 lengths in a 25-meter pool. So that was just non-stop, and then got out of that, and then onto a bike to start doing 1,120 miles on a bike in 7-mile loops. Just keep going around. And I think I was doing like 21 hours a day on the bike, 3 hours sleeping, back on it. And that took me 5 days on the bike, and then onto the 262 mile run to finish. It was most probably my biggest achievement to date, and definitely one of the most painfulest, mentalist challenges I've ever done. Honestly, it was an unreal experience. It's almost like I took myself to this place. It was all in the same area, and I just switched off the outside world for 10 days, and just in my own thoughts, in my own world. It was absolutely amazing. Although it was painful, it was absolutely amazing. So when I got the medal, it was quite an emotional Yeah, I crossed the line because I couldn't believe I was actually, that last loop, you get told to go around the opposite way. So when you see all your contenders, you sort of give them a high five, they all congratulate you. And then I crossed the line and my brother was there, and yeah, I got quite emotional actually. So yeah, Display with Pride put this together for me. And as soon as this living room's done, I'll have it up on the wall. And let's go and check out the bike, which I spent 5 days on. 2011, I did my first Ironman in Bolton. I've done double Ironmans, triple Ironmans since. I've done quite a few triathlons since 2011. But there was one biker I always wanted, and I always wanted the Cervelo P5. This is the bike that I took to the Decker. And like I said earlier, I spent a lot of time on this bike. It was 21 hours a day for 5 days. That seat there absolutely ruined my I'd wake up and to sit back on this seat, couldn't do it. It took me about 4 laps and just slowly easing my ass back onto the seat before I could actually sit down on it properly. I've never been so relieved to get off a bike in all my life. But yeah, this is the bad boy that got me over the line. What the bloody hell is this? When we filmed Sanchez Get High, it was most probably one of the best TV shows that I've ever filmed, just because it was just so interesting getting to travel to different countries and to places I'd never ever go, like, you know, going to meet tribes in the middle of nowhere, learning how they live and doing their medicine. And this hat was when we went to the Philippines. We went to a tribe up in the Philippines, and they every single day they chew on betel nut, which is like a natural speed. So we were chewing on this betel nut all the time, and they took us to a ceremony and they gave us these hats. Like, if I was vegan then, oh man, there's no way I could have handled that ceremony. They were just grabbing chickens and cutting their throats off and draining the blood and downing the blood and stuff. It was pretty brutal. They dared me to wear this hat all the way home on the plane, and they did. And I've still got it to this day. This room here, believe it or not, this room, I've been in this house now for almost 20 years. This living room, I see some mental parties over the years. We used to, back in the day, we used to come back here, and the parties some days will go on 5 days, I think was the longest the party was. And when I emptied it out, ready to sort of begin the next chapter, so to speak, I sort of just stood there and just looked and just thought, wow, man, if only walls could talk, they'd most really collapse. You've had all kinds of people in here, Rhys Evans, Howard Marks. Through all those years of partying, you're most probably thinking, what the hell's this got to do with partying? These were in my room, just down by there, and everybody used to come round to the party, guaranteed at one point somebody would put these on their feet and walk around the house in them. These things to me just bring back memories of good times, good parties, and just the amount of people's feet that have been in them clopping around this house. They're actually quite comfortable, you know. And they're still here today, but these days they just get looked at. I can't remember the last time they've been put on. Out of all those years of partying, I've only ever had one noise complaint through the door of the council, just one. So yeah, not doing too bad. That was my Pride possessions. I hope you enjoyed them. Now get the out of my house.